Let me see.
Okay, I just started
Uh,
streaming, so it should be up
all
very
right,
soon.
should be
I'll
live.
post
I'm
that.
gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. Um, right. While you go ahead and post. Meanwhile, I'll say hi everyone. We are back. Oh yeah, I can see it. Right, we're live. Yeah, we're back. Welcome back, everybody, to another Monday after a yeah, it was a crazy weekend. I guess it was not a quiet weekend. I've had quieter weekends. Not the craziest one, but not a quiet one either. We have plenty to talk about today, so we'll recap last week, the weekend, talk about Iran, which I think is the big one. But then it was the big one until what, like 12 hours ago, and then Jerome Powell dropped a
Yeah.
viral video, so we have to talk about that one too. That's probably just as big now. We'll talk about Venezuela again because my deep dive is coming out in a few hours, presumably. And also, I think there will be some developments there this week because one important person is coming to visit Trump, and then whatever else happened in prediction markets. So yeah,
Yeah,
what's up?
this has been pretty good. We're back for episode 2, and yeah, we have a lot to talk about, and yeah, let's dive in. Just gonna make sure that everything's going well, if everything's working. All right. So yeah, this week, yeah, we're gonna go over what happened in prediction markets, just overall. I mean, Polymarket had some big sponsorship last night, and there was also some legal things, and then all the hottest markets. Hassett is a pick me. That's what I titled our graphic. So when it comes up, I saw
That's a good one. Yeah,
you talked about that today,
he is.
and yeah. So let's dive in. First, we will talk about this week in prediction markets. So where are we going to start off? We will start off, yeah, with Polymarket on the Golden Globes. So, I mean, when I was watching just the Twitter last night, I wasn't actually watching the Golden Globes, but I wanted to see how did the partnership go. Twitter obviously finds a way to hate everything. So they were talking about how having the odds there is a bit of a spoiler. It's also like a bit tacky, but I think I saw something like 34 out of the 35 markets on Polymarket. The favorite that was on Polymarket ended up winning. So, power of
Hmm.
prediction markets, I guess. It was a bit funny to see this. Who's going to win the best podcast? Amy Poehler, 62%. Who cares about the best podcast? Doesn't even belong in the Golden Globes. But anyways, this was what happened there, and yeah, I guess somewhere in the stadium or the arena they were at, they were showing all the live odds of Polymarket. So predictify everything. Is that a saying still? Did John Wang keep that trending or what? So
Yeah, where is he, man? He's just gone. Like
yeah, I don't
it's
know.
great. Actually, now that you mention him, right, that's the first time I heard about him in months, really. Yeah, he's gone. But what we predictified everything, and he just vanished. I
I
didn't actually catch that. I just saw this like Golden Globe thing. Like
yeah.
I saw a tweet, but what happened? Like they actually displayed the odds or
Yeah,
what?
so live on the broadcast, they were showing Polymarket odds.
Okay.
Apparently, every I guess every award or something like that, and
And
you would.
which network was it?
I don't know, unfortunately. I know in Canada we were just the Canadian news channel,
Okay.
but it's kind of going to be like ABC or NBC, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, like a big one. That's what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Crazy. Okay.
CBS, okay. Because I know that Nikki Glazer
Okay.
had made fun of CBS in her monologue. She was like, the award for most editing goes to CBS because of the 60 Minutes
Yeah.
thing. Anyways, yeah, so that's Polymarket. They won the night, I guess, exclusive prediction market partner. And yeah, that was just 12 hours ago. Did you have any bets on Golden Globes? I didn't. Didn't even know. I mean,
Nah, I stay out of culture, man. Like, I have really no clue about it. So yeah.
yeah.
S- Nah.
Anyways, okay, let's go to what other happened. We had, yes, Dina Titus was a bit angry about this Nicolas Maduro controversy. I know it made all the news channels. Even I saw some Canadian networks that were talking about it, just reposting the AP articles. But the 400K winner was implied to be an insider in a lot of these articles, and I guess
Hmm.
it made it to the Congress people. So she was talking about she's the one fighting for the repeal of the 90% loss deduction for gambling tax because that was a recent change in the tax bill. But now she's, I guess, putting a little bit of pressure on Polymarket because of the wager that guy won. Still don't know. I know we talked
Mm,
about last week if it was an insider or not. I don't know if anything changed since then. Do we have any opinions? But no, nothing really, right?
no, no. I mean, it's funny that I kind of I don't remember whether I predicted this in my when I smacked down Polymarket, which actually one thing I think we should talk about is also Domer's long post
Okay, yeah.
where he complained. But before that, I don't know whether I said it there. I think I said it in another place that at some point, something worse will happen. Then, what happened to me, that was quite vanilla, and also worse, what happened like with Zelensky, because Zelensky, that was kind of like a sort of contained thing. Like it made the headlines a little bit, but it was like, haha, look at these idiots gambling on
Yeah.
this stupid shit. But now that it's actually, like a big topic, and in my opinion, there was not the worst rules cock they've ever done. I can see, the argument, but in my opinion, it was not the worst. Now, it's starting to be, well, it's not, I guess it's not a problem for Polymarket. Nothing is a problem, but it's starting to be an issue. Next time something like this happens, and it will, then they will be really in trouble. So they better be prepared, which I don't think they will be, but yeah.
That's unfortunate, but I guess we'll. It sucks to see. I remember always complaining about insiders when I first started doing these spaces with Hive. A lot of the talks always led into, is this an insider or not, because insiders have been so rampant lately. But yeah, there's at one point there will be an incentive. I saw a Dansky tweet the other day that was talking about, or I think it was just this morning, about this van attack that happened in the U.S. and the Polymarket instantly made a market like, was this person, I don't know, trans or something about the van attack. Let's
Uh,
see. Um, oh, I guess they don't. Okay, but I think they had one. Anyways, and he was like, well, now it's creating an incentive for this to happen. Anyways, yes. So talking about this Domer tweet. Okay, it's basically what you said 2 months ago, but reworded. Is that the TLDR?
Kind of, kind of. I mean, like I know that Domer, we had like a little bit. It wasn't really an argument, but like he basically said like I overreacted over my own thing. And I guess to a degree you can say yes, but also I was right on almost everything in my opinion. Like the actual critique that I made, and it's funny to see that he's making like almost point for point. I'm not saying he's ripping me off. I think it's just like it mirrors my own feelings and my own experience. That we're making the exact same critique. And yeah, it was kind of funny to see, but again, like nothing ever happens in that regard, so I
Yeah.
don't think anything will improve.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's about Maduro. He mentions A News a couple times and the Scam Squad. Ah,
Yeah,
it's too bad,
I
really.
mean, yeah, some of these things, like I don't know, like I talked about it with someone else early this morning. How they like the problem is like they're operationally they're just not sound, man. Like their execution is just really amateurish and it's really sloppy. And I think it's a leadership problem. It's either Shane is not there, which I think is the case, and or he can't actually or doesn't know what the people should do. Like he, as the CEO, he shouldn't even be telling them this, because as the CEO, you're just like the guy, the face of the brand, going out there giving interviews. What he does, I think, as CEO, he does well, but they don't have a COO, a chief operating officer, and they really need that, in my opinion,
Yeah.
because it's not getting better. And yeah.
Yeah, when I was reading the tweet, before I got to this number three, and where he talks about Kalshi, I was thinking, Kalshi is going to retweet this tweet and be like, yo, hey, we are so much better. But then he does start to rip
Mm,
into Kalshi as well about, I mean, the markets where they go too much letter of the rules, maybe sometimes not, but this market about Biden, who will the president meet? And it includes Biden and Trump in the last days of their presidency, and they shook hands. You can see it on C-SPAN. There, Trudeau and Biden shook hands, but because the resolution source for Kalshi is so strict, it has to be New York Times or what is it, New York Times or CNN, something like that. Because it wasn't any of
mm,
those two, it resolved no. So it's like very obviously, if you're looking for the truth, prediction markets are supposed to be truth-seeking engines, right? We're pricing RFQs and combinations in the search of
yeah.
truth. It doesn't happen sometimes. And then there's still that argument about what is the truth? Are you incentivizing people to change reality or not? That's just a whole other conversation. And then actually talking about that, there was this, I don't know if you saw yesterday, this token sale, this Trove Markets, I think another prediction market.
No.
They did a coin, an ICO, and we had a market, Polymarket had a market on it about how many total commitments there would be, how many millions of commitments. And 5 minutes before, or yeah, 5 minutes before the end of the sale, the team on the back end changed the expiration date for another like 5 days or something. They changed it to extend the date without telling anyone. So the ICO closes on the website. It shows 000. Everyone bonds the market. And then 15 minutes later, they post on Twitter saying, hey, actually, we're going to extend the token sale by 5 days. And market completely crashes. So people bond at 99.9 because the token sale closed. And there were huge buy orders of 100 to 300K shares, apparently, at 0.1 cents that people got filled on. And they could have made money. Right? So they're just changing reality. And Trove, I mean, bearish on the project if they're scamming a Polymarket market, but it's too bad. They ended up reversing the decision, and it resolved no. But I still don't know, and I had some arguments about what would Polymarket have done. Would they have clarified that this obvious scam gets squashed, or do they allow this token sale to be extended and the Polymarket market gets extended as well? I'm not sure, but you're starting to see now where people are changing reality because of these markets. Right?
Well, that's a point that I definitely can remember making. What kind of markets are we incentivizing? Yeah. And in my opinion, something like Iran, like, okay, of course it's like it's I can see how it's maybe morally a little bit, like you can feel uneasy about like betting on a revolution or against a revolution. Like I can see like the moral argument, but on the other hand, you have you can make a good argument that here you can actually bootstrap some sort of truth-seeking mechanism, how to price a revolution, and if this manages to grow in 1-2 orders of magnitude, this can actually be something useful in my opinion. But it depends on like what kind of markets are we incentivizing. Obviously this kind of thing, you don't really incentivize it, it just happens. But if you take something like this token sale, and they had like tons of these markets, and they have tons of them, every day. Are you incentivizing, like really gambling, which mostly I think they do, or do you want to incentivize, like these markets where you are, well, maybe not a true discovery machine, like where people can really use this and integrate it with something else, integrate it with traditional markets where people can get geopolitical risk priced, these kind of things. This is a strategic question, and I don't think Polymarket has actually ever thought about it, but in my opinion they should, because they're growing fast and it's time.
It's time. It's been time. All right, so let's start to get into the top prediction markets of the week that we're actually trading. So the first one, I guess we'll talk about Iran, right?
Yeah,
obviously.
Well, we have to.
So over the weekend, a couple of pumps. I started to get scared a little bit, I think. Was it that Friday or Saturday where we went from, what was it? Like we settled at 17%, then went up to 25, 26, yeah, and then back down. That was on the 10th, so Saturday, yeah. And that, I don't know what was going on exactly. I know that we were talking about the protests are very big and people are tracking the flights and everything. But I know that in our chat, 50 Pence was like, hey, there's really no reason for the price to be moving. This is just like Hive Mind, the name of our show. Everyone getting on one side, and not everyone sharp, every one of the squares. Because if you look at the top holders, you have all the sharpest, don't want to admit it, all the top traders on no. If you have a profile picture, you're probably a top trader, right? Except Sailor Moon over here, who is both not sharp and doesn't have a profile photo. Anyways, so yeah, the top guys are on no, and it ended up settling back down. Yeah, we're at 82. So what's the current state of the race?
Well, I don't know. I'm just happy. Happy again. This is a market where I shouldn't be saying it like this. But like in terms of my bets, it's finally starting to come around. I think that the peak of the protests, it really seemed to be, I think it was like Friday or Saturday. I think it was Friday or something, and then they really cracked down. I think the last 5 or 6 days or something, right? The internet was turned off. And then, when they turned off the internet, then you knew like, okay, now shit's going to get really ugly. Because they turned off the light for a reason, right? It's the literal purge. Which is, obviously, well, let's not go there. But anyway, this, like already made me think, okay, here we will at least preliminarily top. And now in terms of products, it seemed to, they cracked down. They want to turn on the internet soon. They also, what I expected them to do, they reached out to the US. But Trump said, like, we will still hit you, maybe, because there's always a maybe with him, but we might still hit you, but, they want to talk. And Trump, obviously, he always talks to anyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, there's many different ways how this can go. I don't know. I mean, I still need to really, I want to write a deep dive on it because it also helps my own thinking and my own betting specifically. Like, my intuition for now is US will hit them. When exactly, I don't know. How exactly, I'm also not sure, but I would be surprised if it's not kinetic. I mean, it was, like Trump said, we're gonna hit them hard, and now he's on this, like gambler's high. He's had only successful missions. Although, like the question is, how do you actually help the movement there, right?
Yeah.
It's not. It's an entirely different topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they will hit them, but then they will try. This will be like punishment. I think that Trump sees this, like, we will punish you for killing all these people. We hit you, don't hit back. If you don't hit back, we're gonna talk. If you do hit back, then we're gonna hit you harder. This is kind of what it seems to be right now.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it feels like the consensus is at least that Khomeini will stay in, but all of these markets about strikes, I think I still have no on most of it. And on Saturday, I remember I was talking about, hey, I should dump here at 79 and rebuy lower. I did that for the other markets. So U.S. strikes Iran. I had bought some yes, and then sold it higher. Like, I was doing a good job trading the volatility, but to think that, hey, we have Khomeini out at 31, we have regime fall, I think, at 13, 12, but we still have Israel and US strike trading in the 30s and 40s, right? By the end of the month. So those, I had asked last week, like, how correlated are all of these together? And I guess they weren't as correlated as I thought, because I'm thinking, hey, if US is going to strike, why wouldn't they just do everything at once? Like, what is the US going to strike, if not in order to get the regime to fall,
Yeah,
What is the point
I mean,
of,
I
what are
read
we
a
arguing
good.
about here,
That's the thing. I read a good tweet on that, and this is, like, the problem with Middle East, and especially with this situation, is like you can read obviously endlessly. So I will see how I can, like, just contain it a bit. But one good tweet that I read was, yeah, like, so, what's the situation now? It was from I think he's a journalist in Israel. He is definitely Israeli. Um, and he said, okay, like, what do you do? Like, economic, like, sanctions or economic warfare doesn't really help so much because their economy is already,
Yep.
completely fucked up.
Yep.
So cyber warfare, okay, yeah, that helps to some degree. If you hit like missile depots and that kind of stuff. Well, does that really help the protest movement? I mean, questionable. Like, not bad, but it's no direct effect. What does help is what I thought already before I read that. Kind of if you remember when Israel hit, it was in Lebanon, I think.
Okay.
Or I think Lebanon, yeah, with the pager attack, something like this, like a widespread attack where you take out a lot of you actually want to take out, like a lot of these low-level people or mid-level people to sow, potential dissent, where they actually start questioning, okay, why are we really defending this regime? Like you have this small crack maybe open now, and then you want to widen this, so you get these potential dissenters. But are they able to? Israel for sure is able to do something like this or similar. Is the US? Not really sure. So the only thing that really leaves, and when I read that, I was like, shit, he's right. And then I caught myself because it was really late. So I said, okay, like, I'm gonna look at this tomorrow again. To actually take out Khomeini and like the leadership structure, which last summer, I think Bibi said it right. Like, he was at least thinking about it, and then Trump said, no, let's not go there for now.
Yeah.
But
That was when he
this is,
swore.
it's on the table. So, and I guess they know where he is. I mean, for sure Mossad knows. So I don't think it's on the table right now, because it would just be instant war. And I don't think Trump needs this. And I think also, like US popular opinion would be extremely against this.
Yeah.
But it's not completely off the table, in the medium term if the situation were to escalate more. So it's not like a complete bomb. Sorry, not bomb. It's a bomb. Yeah, it's not a complete bond with Khomeini because he's old and they want to kill him. So
But for end of the
yeah,
month, I mean, so I'm
yeah. For end of the month,
my
I think
biggest
we're good.
position is this end of the month market.
Yeah, yeah,
Not that
yeah, yeah.
not that I have the most
I think
confidence.
with strikes is for me it's the same thing with strikes. Like I'm already looking at like I thought. Well, initially, I bought them way too early. Everything across the board, I bought everything way too early. It just went up, 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 up. And then when you're still on no, then you just go to a lower time frame and try to get the APY there and think like, okay, I'll worry about this underwater stuff
Yeah.
later. And with the strikes, I'm thinking the same thing now. So I'm looking really, I think, let me see, it was like end of the week. Where was it? I can't find it now, but I think last time I checked, end of the week was like at 80 for no.
Yeah.
I think that's decent. I think it's like they will talk about it tomorrow. Then you have like market hours, all that stuff. Trump. Like he's not like Bibi. He doesn't want to wake up to, or he doesn't want to bomb and then wake up to SPX going down.
Mhm.
So I don't see it. During this week, like weekdays, I don't think it happens. Plus, then on Monday, then actually weekend, is a potential window because then Monday is Martin Luther King Day, market holiday. So,
Yeah.
there, if they want to do something, if they want to do what I think they might do, what would be the logical thing to do based on Trump's words, which is, like punishment, but not too big, like because we don't really know how many people you killed, right? Like it could be 500, it could be 10,000.
Yeah.
So we punish you and then they communicate, this is a punishment through a back channel. Like Witkoff tells them, look, this is just a punishment, don't hit back, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
And if that works out, then I could see it happen rather fast, but not until the end of the week.
Yeah. In terms of the actual markets, I know on Friday with Profit you had mentioned shorter strikes, and just now you said take the earlier strikes, and it makes sense. I mean, January 31st for regime fall was 20, and now it's 12, whereas like
Mm,
June and December have stayed relatively high. 50 down to 47
yeah.
for end of year, and 40 down to 35. So they've stayed elevated. Meanwhile, January
Mm,
31st has had quite a bit of decay in terms of price. Yeah, I mean, my positions are regime fall no, all the way through to June. I mean, you had mentioned in TMB that it's not a paper regime, like we are, Iran is resilient enough, right? So it makes sense to bet on Iran survival as a regime. Khomeini out, but this strikes is the ones that remain elevated, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Hassett, who is a pick me. This is what I have for it. So tell us what is going on here. What did Hassett say? It was Hassett. What was the quote? Because I remember someone in TMB had posted it about it. Um,
It was yeah, it was like he said like Jerome Powell is like a nice guy or something, and he would still take the job if he was offered. Man, he has crazy pick me energy. Like
Good
it's
person.
just like here, here, here. I'm here. Look at me.
Yeah.
Like I want it. Like or he doesn't say I want it. Like I would take it. Like I don't want it. I would take it. Like it's fine. Yeah, it was big, unexpected with Jerome Powell. I have to say, like, this is my one chance to say it in front of an audience. Like, I really, really respect Jerome Powell. I think he's like, he's to me, he's a top J. He's the only guy who's willing to stand up to Trump, and he actually, he takes it, he takes it, he takes it, and then they just push him. He's like, I don't know if you ever watched Falling Down. Is like the movie with Michael Douglas. It's before your time. It's like from 95 or something. It's
Yeah.
like Michael Douglas. He's like this like white collar guy, and he goes to work every day. And it's someday, like something happens to him. I think he's caught like in a traffic jam or something. He has a bad day, and then he just loses it, and he goes crazy, and he gets like a shotgun and walks around town threatening people and that kind of stuff. Jerome Powell is like that. He's like, like every day he comes to work, he tries to protect the market, he puts up with Trump in his inbox, and then one day, then the DOJ gives him this piece of paper. He's like, you know what, like, fuck all of you guys. Like, I'm out of here. So I really respect him. for that. And yeah, it's interesting in terms of like Fed chair. I don't know yet. Like I sat down, now to write my deep dive on the Fed, which should come out hopefully by the end of the week. It's not as challenging as Iran. I can't really tell yet. I have to really think deeply through it. What the only thing that is my intuition is strong on, this will take even more time now,
Yeah.
because now they have this other thing, with Senate says like, okay, we're not going to confirm anyone till it said like, no, bro, this is not flying. First we need to figure this bullshit out, and then you can, suggest your candidate. So I think, and I tried to get in on this market if you can find it. The when will the nomination be confirmed?
Yeah.
It
When
was
he'll
like
announce it, like the
yeah,
announcement. Yeah.
exactly. Oh, sorry, when he'll nominate. Yeah, not when it's confirmed, but when he'll nominate, when
Yeah.
he'll announce it, basically. I think we're January is now like because it was supposed to be around Davos, right? But now you have this thing too, so I don't know what's it at now. I bought today in the morning. What was there, like
No
around 20 or
announcement.
something?
No announcement by January 31st is 17%. Low liquidity, obviously. I don't know. I guess
We're really
you're one of
17.
these accounts. There's a 600 share account. I don't
Maybe,
know how much.
yeah. Wait, I might have to bid if it's really is it 17. I think that's too low. That's
But
that's way too low
what
because there's
day will
Lisa.
Trump announce? Is that the market you're talking about? What day will
No,
he
let me see.
announce it?
It's Jerome Powell out. Fed decision. Will Trump meet? Trump announces. Okay, this one. Trump announces Fed chair nominee by and then January 31st.
Interesting. Actually, this is kind of arbitrage. There's 81.4 for yes, January 31st, but then the other market,
Mhm.
what day will he announce it? 16. 89 shares. Very low liquidity, but it's a bit of an arbitrage for whoever wants to take it. Yeah, I see
Um,
Domer's on yes for end of year. So
Thomas
he's,
on yes for end of month, yeah, but I think he bought like way earlier.
yeah.
I don't know if this now changes any of his thinking. I'm not sure. Yeah, Trump was really insistent, but now like with Senate saying, like, or with Tillis saying like, I'm not going to confirm anyone. And then you also have Lisa Cook, and you also have like Besant, who's that was the incredible thing about the Fed share market, because in my opinion it's like the most inefficient market in big market on Polymarket out there. Rick
I
Reeder, he's
agree.
supposed to be interviewed. I think it was this week or something.
Yeah.
This was known news for months. For months, they've been saying like it's three guys and him. He's like the outside choice, sort of.
Yeah.
And it's for months. Besson has been saying those are our four guys, and then like bit by bit, Trump talks about Hassett, but Besant is like, no, no, sir, here I have these candidates, please interview them. And this was known that they would talk, and like he just dumped and dumped and dumped. And I was actually stupid enough to sell some of my readers into the dump. And now it comes out today like, oh, we will interview him, and the price doubled. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
from 3 to 6 is not a lot, right? It's a shitcoin, but still,
Which
the market doesn't know anything.
yeah.
Like,
Which candidate was the one on Friday that was we haven't interviewed him yet? Was that Rick Ryder?
this
That
reader,
was
yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
this reader, yeah,
So
yeah.
that was. I mean, we talked about that on Friday as well. I wonder what happened to the price that day. But yeah, 2%, and then 3 hours ago goes up to six. Okay. I mean,
It,
sure.
yeah, it doubled or tripled. Yeah. So the market does not know absolutely. It priced approximately, like it's the share of how much news or how many headlines are actually out there. So are there a lot of headlines about Hassett? You remember when Trump said like Fed chair nominee, it was only Hassett, because he said like we had all these candidates, we narrowed it to one because that's the only guy he knew, right? He only in his head there was only Hassett.
Yeah.
And then Besant actually said, no, no, wait, like I did all this work. Please, sir, talk to these people. And then the shills came out, and the people started pushing their candidate through headlines, and then Hassett kind of went down. But the market doesn't actually know, how Trump is thinking, or like who like Waller could be at 50. He shouldn't be, in my opinion. He should be higher. I shouldn't be at 50. Like Hassett could also Hassett. What happened between today, when Hassett is at 40, and back when he was at 80? Like we talked a little bit about other candidates. Trump still said, I have still my favorites, right? For him, maybe nothing changed. We don't know. So
I mean,
market is clueless.
back in November, I was under the impression that the consensus trade from TMB, you had said, I think Hassett will be the nominee in the end, but
Yeah,
for now, it's probably plus EV to buy no because he's gonna do this
yeah.
dance, right? So when you said that, I bought like 30,000 shares of no at about 20 cents. I think on Kalshi or Poly. I
Mm.
bought no. I told some of my friends, I'm like, hey, I think this is a good bet, good trade to make. and it ended up working out. I think I sold at 35, something like that. Now it's no is at 60, or it was.
Mm.
But it was a good trade to make back then because of this dance. But I'm guessing now it's more than just him dancing around these different people, and he's actually considering them. I remember last year the Trump CNBC interview. You remember the one that went on for like an hour or something back in July? And do you remember? Maybe there was a men. I was
Which one was it?
It was Trump on CNBC where he was just saying a lot of, he was rambling so much, and
Mhm.
they had asked him about the next Fed chair, and he said, "I like the Kevins, right? Both Kevins, like Kevins
Mm.
are great people, like they're on the top of the list." And when that happened, both Kevins went up, Hassett and Warsh.
Mhm.
And Hassett being at 80%, it felt like the eventual outcome, but I know that we had talked about this dance and it ends up working out where now both of them are in these 40 cent ranges, 30 to 40 cents. But still, it doesn't seem like Hassett is the lock that maybe, I don't want to say lock or bond or anything stupid, but it doesn't seem like it is a consensus yes anymore, even though it might have been before.
I think, yeah, I think still, like, look, Trump, like this what I wrote about also in my Venezuela deep dive. Like Trump, he's volatile, but he's like actually very he like the mental frameworks he has there are very simple, like strong is good, you need to impress him, these kinds of things. And like with Fed chair, he could change his mind even at the last moment. Even if he says now, I made up my mind, I don't believe him. Like he made up his mind now,
Mm-hmm.
but if he's made up his mind, why doesn't he announce?
Yep.
So just announce it, bro. Like if you made up your mind about Hassett two months ago, why don't you announce it?
Yep.
So apparently you haven't made up your mind. Like it's like he says one thing and then he still might do another thing. He might do the thing that he says, but he might also not do the thing he says. So it could be like at the last. It could be that maybe not at the literally last moment, but figuratively at the last moment, he talks to someone and then someone says like, sir, you know what, like Rick Reader, blah blah blah, something something, and he's like, you know what, yeah, actually, you're right. And then he picks this guy.
Yeah.
I don't think actually Reader gets it or even wants it. If I was Rick Reader and I work at BlackRock and I see what's going on in the U.S. government, I'm like, bro, like
Yeah.
I'd rather work for BlackRock than for Venezuela, right? So let me stay where I am.
Tough.
But do I think they will pump him with a headline? Do I think he could make Trump think one more time about his other choices? Do I think something could happen between now and when he eventually announces? Yeah, absolutely, could happen. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'm just looking at the chat. Now we have a chat activated. Someone asked about Portugal. Maybe we'll get to that at the end. Haven't talked about it yet. But Predem Trader asked about, yeah. So in terms of the Powell video from last night, does it affect any markets about the Fed, whether it be rate cut or if he like gets charged or drops out? Would it affect anything? I mean, January is what we're at 99, right? For Fed rate.
Yeah, no, January is I think this month. Oh, it's actually went down. Interesting. Oh, nice. I actually sold almost the top. Cool. Now they'll hold in January. January is a lock. Although I think this week I haven't looked at the schedule, but we should get a couple of Fed speakers because I think next week is blackout. So then they should speak all this week. No, like Powell, this is one thing that I respect about Powell, and that some people, who are just like blinded by the algorithm, they get wrong. They say Powell is political. I don't think he's political at all. I think, I think sometimes he gets things wrong. He's like prone to bias and being influenced like anyone. Like if you have this orange person yelling at you like literally and figuratively all the time, of course you're going to get influenced. Of course, you might you like it changes maybe your thinking. Instead of, if you had like someone who was like, no, don't go higher with the rate, you look at the data in another way because you have this voice in your mind telling you what to do or what not to do. But is he political? Like, no, now I will not lower the rate or lower the rate because of something the president said. Like, I don't believe so. So I think, yeah, it depends on how the data comes out. I'm still for March. I'm still on cut, like just
That's in the
as a punt.
70s,
I think
right?
March. Yeah, I think it's March. It depends on how the data comes out. I mean, until March FOMC, we have like 10 weeks or
When
something. There's
is
a
the
couple
next
more.
piece of data? There was some jobs number the other day, right? On Friday.
Yeah, jobs last week were solid. Like they pretty much confirmed. I mean, in January was almost confirmed anyway, but now they really like sealed it on March 18th. So I think we get two more or one more until March. I think it should be two more because this was December data, so we should get January, February. Yeah, it's not at the moment. It doesn't look too likely, but these banks, they also like I saw like JPM now says no rate cuts this year. Yeah, well, we'll see about that. They also said like last March, they all said, well, SPX end of year target 5,200. Look what happened. Like they're just like they also just run past the narrative. Like if the narrative now prices down, well, then we adjust our targets lower because like we don't want to see look like an idiot. So I don't think there's any real alpha to be had. I'm punting March. Not sure if it happens. We'll see. But I think odds are still okay. Let's see how the data keeps coming out.
Decap commented that he has 400,000 shares of no change for this month, so he's all in.
Yo, 94 is good. Yeah. If they don't bust me on Iran, I might get in on no as well.
Oh,
So
man,
we need
please.
to. Yeah.
I just need a win. I just want to see one go through the hoop at this point, you know?
I just want to stop losing. Nothing has happened, and I'm down. How
Still
can this
down.
be? Like,
Well,
nothing ever happens, bro.
this morning I woke up to some profits, so unrealized gains in the Iran market. So I'm happy there. Okay, so that is Fed share market. Not too bad. Okay, next we talk about Venezuela, I guess, right? If there's anything still going on there. So
Yeah.
what is
like it's
going on? Oops. Yeah, what's going on there?
Yeah, a little bit quiet now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Maria Corina Machado comes tomorrow to DC or Mar-a-Lago. They're kind of interchangeable at this point. Probably DC. Definitely this week. I think she comes tomorrow, but definitely this week. There was also for some reason, Delcy Rodriguez. There's also a market for her visiting or like meeting with Trump. It also pumped. Although I'm not sure why. I didn't see whatever tweets pumped it. But it's not super likely. I think it was at 30 for end of March or something.
For which one, sorry?
There was, I just checked it earlier. It's like Delcy Rodriguez to meet Trump by March 31st. And there was like a big spike. And then it went back down. Wow. Yeah, in terms of like fundamentals, nothing happened for now. I'll publish my deep dive later. The reason why I haven't why I haven't published it is because I want to record like a sort of an audio version for it because they're very long, and I know some people read it, but I want to make it a little bit more accessible to people who don't want to read 5,000 words. I get that it's like not the easiest thing to digest. So I want to record it, and then you can listen to it, which I think will make it more accessible to people that want to read or listen to it, but not maybe invest an hour just sitting down reading actual stuff.
So any
I think it's a very interesting situation. Yeah. Huh?
So
I can tease a bit.
Yeah, let me know.
Well, positions, still same thing. Nothing's changed. Like I'm still on Delcy. I'd be looking to add if it dips back below 50, which I think could rather easily happen. I mean, for now, it's like this in this like uneasy equilibrium, looks like it. Fundamentally, I think is very interesting actually when you read into these things. Like then you learn, what kind of incentives and views people have. So Rubio, he actually needs Venezuela to get to Cuba. So he actually, in my opinion now, he wants regime change in Cuba because he's Cuban. And he wants this regime there gone. Through Venezuela, he can get it because they turned off. Trump now said, okay, no more oil from Venezuela to Cuba. And Cuba depends almost entirely on Venezuelan oil, and their economy is already, like completely fucked up. So how long can they last? Like they're not long, because the other big source of oil for them is Mexico. And Trump now also has beef with Mexico. So he will tell Mexico the exact same thing. Like, look, sort out your cartels or we'll bomb you. We'll probably bomb you anyway. Plus no more oil to Cuba or tariffs. You know how it goes. And they'll say like, you know what? Okay, fuck Cuba. We don't really care about Cuba. So Cuba is, this is Rubio's agenda. Then you have Machado's agenda. She wants power, but she can't get it because she has no connections in the country. Then you have Delcy's agenda. She wants to, stay in power. She also she hates the gringos, but she doesn't hate them so much because actually she was educated in the West and she also grifts in Venezuela. So she's like, she might actually go to exile at some point, but she will also not willingly, give up power. She will try to slow roll this. She will try to deceive Trump and this kind of stuff. And then you have like this other guy in the background who's like the crazy person who hates the gringos. He actually wanted to be the boss. Now he's not the boss. He was actually Chavez's buddy, and then Maduro got the job. Now Delcy got the job, and he's like, this is bullshit, But now he needs to keep quiet, or they will drone strike him. So it's this like very interesting equilibrium, of players. And what I think will happen is for now nothing. I think Delcy, I'll try to get in again on Delcy. I could buy more now, but like I don't like to buy things when they're like in this like when they just go sideways. And around 50 sideways, I'm not sure. I think it could dip again. One headline and it dips.
Yeah, on
But I
Friday.
think she's good.
Yeah.
She'll go higher before she goes lower.
Yeah, on Friday it went up to. I was market making it. Went up to 57. I had bought some Yes shares after our stream last week, in the mid 40s, and went up to
Mm.
59. Sold. I was market making it, so I think I got more Yes a little bit at 58, 57. It is back down to 50 now today, so it is pretty much 50-50. But yeah, I it makes sense. I remember you guys were doing Hive 5 on Friday.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil where the price. I wrote them down to look back on Friday, but U.S. strike on Mexico here. I'll put back the screen. U.S. strike on Mexico has fallen right back to 3. It was a market I was scared of
Uh-huh.
because I'm market making it for how much money? What is it? $30, $30 a day, and
Uh-huh.
I got filled at pretty much 99 cent no, but it just didn't make
Yeah.
sense to me. I just like why are we striking Mexico? It is for the cartels, makes sense. But you think of a headline: U.S. strike on Mexico, feels like a big deal, right? So that's why it was priced so low. But now we've settled back down at least for the end of the month. So I think your deep dive makes sense. When's it going to come out? End of the week or?
So definitely, no, definitely today. It's done. Like it's
Oh,
written.
okay.
I could publish it now, but because I want to add this, if I add the audio later, then it's like, hey, here's the deep dive, and then 2 days later, you're like, hey, by the way, here's the audio. So I want to just drop it all in one. So,
Good.
but I need to record. It's probably like an hour of reading, and then I need to touch it up a bit. So I'll take maybe 2-3 hours to get it done.
So which U.S. I know you mentioned the case for every strike on every Latin country, but which countries make sense for the U.S. to strike and which ones not? Are we just buying no across the board and nothing happens, or are there any? Is there any value
Um,
on any of the yes sides here?
Let me see. Yeah, absolutely. I had a bet
Colombia,
more. I'm gonna
Mexico.
shield. Yeah, I'm gonna shield Betmore. I use Betmore for these kind of things because you
Sure.
can construct the grid is really nice. Venezuela is a really, really good hedge. I'm kind of giving away the sauce here because I haven't even filled myself yet. But in my opinion, a really good hedge is U.S. strike or potentially also invasion. Like after how this went down last time, I mean, they could, if they want to secure whatever oil field or something, they just at some point invasion could easily resolve. Yes, if they actually need to establish a little bit of control, a couple of square miles. So both of them, in my opinion, are good hedges. Even with, you could bet Delcy staying in and the strike, and both could easily resolve. Yes, because how else? Like if Delcy goes out, you think they're not going to strike? Like they said they were going to strike. If she for whatever reason, if something
Okay.
happens to her, either she fucks up Trump or she fucks up someone else in Venezuela, then Trump's going to be like, okay, Pete is going down. Like, let's do this again. So I think that those are great hedges. And
Sorry.
those are also
Yeah.
like the most likely ones. Like Mexico could actually happen. Like I saw something might have been just psyops, but some tweet with like troop movements. I haven't looked into it. Someone sent it to me. Colombia for now is, I think, they talked on the phone, so I think for now is quiet. Cuba doesn't make sense to me to strike Cuba. I think Cuba can just, what do you want to strike there? Some shanty town or some hotel with a bunch of
Yeah.
Russians? Like it's nonsense. Like there's nothing to strike in Cuba. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but it doesn't make sense. So I think Cuba can just be isolated as an island.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, to me, it just Venezuela, I don't I feel like it was a success. I don't know if I'm biased, but the actual mission itself is it a consensus success? Am I right on that? Or I know that
Yeah, I
I heard on the red carpet yesterday illegal operation in Venezuela. Mark Ruffalo said, I'm like, man, I'm pretty sure the Venezuelans in Venezuela and in America are very happy that this happened. Like
yeah.
you think about the actual situation they were in. This was a successful operation, and it was a win-win for the parties involved, other than Maduro. Um, Based on that, are the prices of all these other countries inflated because we're thinking like, oh, the US is just, if they're going to attack Mexico, if they're going to strike Mexico, it'll be a precise precision operation
Mm.
on a cartel, and it's not going to like affect the relationship between Mexico and US. Is that part of maybe why the prices are higher or are competitive?
I don't know. I mean, in terms of success, people like a winner. I'll talk about this in the deep dive. One interesting data point that I can spoiler, it was so public approval was about minus 25 on net before the operation, like should the US engage militarily.
Mm-hmm.
After it was roughly equal. It was like roughly like one third, one third, one third. So like third against, third in favor, and third like unsure.
Yep.
So if it had gone wrong, which it easily could have, because there was a New York Times report, like detailing it a little bit, how they came under fire and stuff. What if the helicopter comes down? What if he doesn't get captured? A couple of U.S. soldiers get killed. Like boom, it goes from minus 25 to minus 50 because people is like, what the fuck are we actually doing in Venezuela? It's not our business. So that's that. In terms of like the invasions or strikes, are they overpriced? I don't know. I mean, like yeah, it's like with Mexico. To me, it's strange that he's like so fixated on Mexico because actually he gets along quite well with President Scheinbaum,
Yes.
who's like a very nice person. He always says that they get along well. And then he talks about striking Mexico with Colombia. Like I think he generally dislikes the guy because he's left. I mean, she's also left, but she's apparently they have a good connection. He's left, but he'll leave soon. So now they talked again or on the phone and they were good. So I don't think it's imminent, but I wouldn't. These are like not really bondy for me anymore because he just feels entitled to do whatever, and these countries they can't really hit back. Like Mexico is sort of a developed. It's not a complete shithole crackhead state like Venezuela, right? So just striking Mexico for no reason is more what I'd be more interested in terms of yes is like a CIA operation like we had in Venezuela, right? Like covert ops. But this kind of thing, I'd almost expect them to do something like that,
Mm-hmm.
like actual strikes. This is really, wouldn't want to bet against it, but like I don't know how you can do this to like an actual country because the one like final thing, all the other countries they've struck so far, these countries actually allowed them to strike. So like in Nigeria, I read this. There was a headline about this. That he actually got approval first before he struck like ISIS. In Syria, I don't know if he actually needs to get approval, but like he knows the guy now, so they're good. And then okay, Yemen. I mean, this is like a shithole state, but in terms of like an actual country, like striking them without their approval is sort of a like big deal and kind of like I mean he's done a lot of crazy things already, but like it's yet another step towards escalation, right? How does this look then? Like what will Russia think? Like they can also, oh, then we're gonna strike Estonia, or someone else. So you gotta be careful.
Yeah, so yeah, Cuba, someone, Gollum Gecko in the comments talked about Cuba. It's at 84 now. 154% APY if you bet on no. Whenever you start to talk about the yield as if it's a
Yeah.
bond, it's not a good thing. I remember talking about Biden dropout last year. What's it last year? Two
Yeah.
years ago. 2 years ago. Holy shit, almost 2 years ago. Yeah, so I wouldn't talk about APY just yet, but I know that yeah, out of this list, Cuba feels like a no. Colombia, Mexico, if it's precise, could be yes. And that makes sense to me. But obviously, I think the most interesting is still Venezuela and this leader market for Delcy. What about this uh, Nobel Peace Prize? Are they going to share it? We have a market right now
Yeah, don't
70
ask me about it. I'm like,
percent to share. Like that feels high, but
yeah.
it's probably just some sort of
Ah,
scam market where she's gonna say
yeah, I'm gonna get
something or
scammed on that. I'm on no. Like I
yeah.
bought the absolute Pico top on no because one day I was going through new markets and I saw this and I didn't really read the rules. I just skimmed the rules and I saw the headline and I was like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. And I bought a little bit and now I'm like, oh fuck. I'm trying to sell like I think around I don't know 50 or 60 or something. They're just trying to get rid of it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is like a bullshit market, right? I just don't get involved with these bullshit. It's my own fault. Can't complain. Bullshit rules, bullshit market. Is she going to offer it to him? Probably because she is again She has apparently like no real connections, friends in Venezuela. She has the people who voted for her or like for her guy.
Edmundo, yeah.
And that's it. Trump thinks she's weak. Does that make her look stronger now? Not really, but like it's like, can you suck up to him? I don't know. Yeah, probably should do it. Would I bet on it? No, but would I bet against it now? No, I don't know. Just follow whatever Pence does after it's happened. Like you'll see where the money goes. So
Wherever the dispute is, just take that side. Yeah,
yeah,
that's tough. Are there any other markets for this Venezuela stuff that you're tracking in your deep dive?
there is one that I'm looking at. Also read it out on both sides. Machado to return to Venezuela. I think it was. Let me see. I can find it. Actually, two. There's the return market. Which I can't find it now on Polymarket. You just can't find anything, but it was around like 25, 30
Yeah.
for
Enters
end of
Venezuela?
month. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, what is it now?
27 for end of month, 63 for March 31st.
Okay. I'd like to oppose it for end of month again because of the incentive structure. For this one, read or listen to my deep dive. I'm not gonna tell you everything, and in the end, no one's gonna read it or listen to it. But I I laid out my thinking. I think though she could return. This is again another thing. This like striking Venezuela, right? It's gonna happen. And it did happen, but when? Like in August we thought soon, and then in October we thought soon, and in November we thought now it's imminent, and in the end it was like it happens, but just timing it is difficult. So it could happen Q1, could also happen Q2. What I think eventually will happen is she will return with or without the approval of Marco Rubio, who is really in charge there. Yeah.
At 27.
One other thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you're good.
Well, no, I'm at 27. Like 74 is not the most attractive price to be getting yes for something. I mean, you said when are they meeting this week, her and Trump?
I think tomorrow. I
Okay.
think it was supposed to be tomorrow. I'm not sure though.
So tomorrow's probably some consequential day for the sake of the market, right? They're gonna reporters ask or she'll announce something. 27. I mean, maybe I'd rather have it in the low 20s, but around this price does seem like not bad for hopping on the yes side and hoping that there's some volatility tomorrow, right? It could be one of those headlines where price goes up, car clicks and everything goes up, the news event. Just trade the headline. So buying early in now and then having a sell order in just in case she doesn't end up going. Probably the right move. But yeah, maybe I'll pick up some yeses here. But anyways, you were saying if you wanted any other thing.
There's one more, pull up Maduro, what kind of, I can't remember what the name was, but like what kind of prison time he's going to get. Okay. So like what was he going to be sentenced to? And there was like no prison time and up to 60 years plus.
Released from custody or prison time?
No, that was the other one.
Maduro
There's like one.
Yep. Okay, 60 plus 47%. Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. And what's the like no prison time? What's it at now?
23.
You think it's low or high? Or fair?
I wouldn't buy yes of no prison time. I don't know how rigged.
Why not?
I don't know how rigged the justice system is, but when is the trial going to start? Is it expedited or is it?
I think it's March. I think I saw something March.
Why would I buy?
Like regardless of when it starts. Okay, like let's discount that, but like just in terms of fair value.
If I was a square that has done no research, I would say 100% chance Maduro is sentenced to prison. He's locked away forever because of crimes against humanity or whatever he's charged with. That would be my base take with no knowledge.
Yeah.
I guess you were thinking of punting there?
Sort of this direction, yeah. To me, it's. I haven't looked into like there's no like the basic charges, right? He had a machine gun, boohoo, drug trafficking, and that kind of stuff. I think it's 23 seems a bit high to me. There's a precedent with Noriega in 1989. There was like the last guy who they abducted like this, and he. Like his defense was he has head of state immunity, and they threw this out. I can't remember what the basis on what basis it was, but they threw it out. And I would imagine, like I know Maduro, he got this like really prominent lawyer. I can't remember his name, but like he's defended a couple of like high level crooks. I would imagine they try something similar. Plus, they will probably try basically that they can't actually prove that he was in charge of these like drug trafficking, because this cartel, the of the Suns, like it's not a real thing, that kind of stuff. Oh, still it seems high to me.
So
Like,
78 seems high. Is that what you
yeah,
mean?
seems
Yeah.
low. Like I would put this like 10% or something. It seems like I don't like, I bought a bit and then I thought about it and it's like, ah, fuck, this is
Sorry,
going
I
to
don't.
take months,
So you
so
think prison time is a lock?
should be higher. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
he's
So
gonna
that's what
get.
I'm.
I think he's gonna get
Okay.
prison. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I
that's
can't.
what I
I
think
can't
as
really
well.
see how they can throw it out. Like how his defense can throw it out. I have to read up on it. So I wouldn't. Plus, it's far out, and we're now busy with Iran, so there's no no real point. But I think I find it hard to imagine that he will get free. Also, because the court, like, I think they're gonna be biased, man. Like,
That's
come
what I
on,
said.
like how,
Yeah.
like nobody likes Maduro, right? Like,
Hmm.
even if you're like, you have to be like really hard, you have to be like an actual Marxist to defend Maduro. Even if you're, let's say, quote unquote woke. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't defend Maduro. You're like, okay, I have an open mind to this, but there will be, both sides will be heard. Find it really, really hard to believe that he will just be sent back to Venezuela. I
So
don't see it.
maybe is it because of the timeline that's unsure? If you're holding this for over a year, 78
Yeah,
with time value of
could
money
be. Yeah,
would be like this could be a fair value of 90 even though it's priced 78 because of TVM, right? So um,
could be. Yeah.
that's that could be one of the reasons. But yeah, when I said the square take with no knowledge is, yeah, I wouldn't buy
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't buy no because of TVM, but I definitely would not be buying yes in the 20s because um, he is going to, he is not, he's not going to get away with this, right? That's
Yeah, yeah. So it's just like same. So
uh,
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
okay. JC doesn't understand time. Well, time value money. So are we getting paid 4% APY? No, right? So if you're buying no at 78, you're locking your money up at 78. Why wouldn't you buy? Why wouldn't you buy Khomeini out at 78 end of month? That gets paid out instead of locking your money up here. I understand there's so much money on Polymarket. Maybe this price should be corrected, but we've seen very often that prices don't get corrected. The efficient market is not
Yeah,
doesn't exist on
yeah.
Polymarket. Now,
Um,
JC, yeah, for buying yes, it also doesn't make sense. So you're right. If we are correct, it does make sense to punt on no here. 78, 900 shares, 79 and 80. Those are all prices that make sense to me. But I don't know. I wouldn't buy yes. And I guess if fair value is 90, then personally with my bankroll, maybe I'm buying up to 79, 80. But I just don't know the timeline, right? So do you
yeah.
have shares of no here?
I have a few. Yeah, not much. I have a few. Probably won't buy more because, yeah, when I think it was before they actually announced when he'll get tried, and I think it's end of March. So now, like, whatever. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really make sense. But yeah.
Well, the other thing, JC, I mean, TVM when we're doing a Jesus market, right? Tina Dome in last January or last February bought Jesus yes at 3 and 4 cents. Obviously, the fair value of that is zero, but it is not an attractive bet on
Mhm.
Polymarket to be betting something at 96 when you're not getting paid out, right? So that's the TVM, that's the time value of money argument there, where Polymarket risk-free rate is well above 10%. Just cycling through bonds. So when we don't know how long this court case is going to take, it doesn't make sense to buy no a little bit. But I think at 78 and 79, it's worth a punt. So that's that. Just yeah. Okay. Do we want to talk about Portugal? Because someone at the very beginning had asked about it. Have you done
Sure.
any research
Yeah.
yet? I know Scott
Zero.
Alicious.
Yeah.
Scott Alicious tweeted that he's in Portugal doing some interviews. There we go. Today we interviewed some older folks in Lisbon. Am I screen sharing? Yes, I am. Today we interviewed some older folks in Lisbon and a suburb. Portugal, so mellow, criminal to disturb these people from the fun they're having. So he's in Portugal doing some research. He's the notorious
Yeah.
bonder on Polymarket, but he is starting to do some research. And for Conrad who wants some knowledge, hey, go follow Scott Alicious for info there. Do you have any opinions yet?
Zero. No, no time for it. Just checked it out today. I saw the profits guys are pumping, so I sent him a message like, "Good job." I think
Yeah,
we had
in the
it in the
high
high
five.
five, right? I
Yep.
said like the guy is gonna bounce, but he's just going straight to zero. So yeah, good thing I'm not involved. Yeah, I have no clue. It's a good market if you want to follow it. Like if you like elections, if you have some sort of edge, whatever it is. I looked at it, and without Iran and without all this crazy shit, probably be looking at it, but just no bandwidth.
Yeah, so sorry, last week was sorry, this was on the ninth. The ninth you talked about it. So Mark
Yeah,
Mendez was who you're predicting, and it was at 42, and now he is
yeah,
at 17. Wow. So
17. Yeah,
you
yeah.
you gave
You're
52, Prophet said 32.
Yeah, you rocked completely. Yeah, and it's crazy because like the first and only time I looked into it, he was like close to, I think it was high 70s, and then he peaked at 80, and he just fell off a cliff. I wonder what happened there. I know like the president in Portugal, that's what I gathered, is like not really an important person, so it's not really a meaningful election, but still like,
Is
yeah,
that because it's like a prime minister president system there?
yeah, it's like a
Okay, same as
ceremonial
Italy,
role
same as
apparently.
Italy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
Maloney's the
yeah,
important one, and the president's
yeah.
actually not. Yeah. So some of the comments, Gollum says no Ventura, because Scott Alicious has 170,000 shares of no. Is that 95? Donaldino Trampito, GOP fan, all of these sharper people, foreign election traders are on no. Yeah, it's sitting at
Yeah.
95. I don't know when is the election. Uh, okay, two
Yeah, that's
weeks.
a lock. Like that's the only thing that I gather. Yeah, he's the right wing guy, and he like if he makes the runoff, which I don't know now, I haven't checked the polls anymore. But if he gets like to the runoff, he loses to everyone, and like Bakley's like down 30 points to everyone, so he has like no chance of winning. So it's a lock, but it depends on. I don't know when the runoff is. I think it's like a week or two after the first round. So
Mm.
if you want to hold it, yeah, this like five cent free money basically.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah. Are there any other markets we want to talk about? I think
I don't
we're
know. Let
we've
me see. I think.
been on for an hour, so
Probably.
not too bad. I'm happy that we have
Yeah.
activity in the comments, guys. If anyone wants another market, we'll stay for a couple more minutes and analyze anything. Portugal is fun. I mean, 2 weeks away. This is going to be good. High five on Friday will be funny. I already
Yeah.
spoiled Portugal, but yeah, we'll see. It looks like did you write all of them down, or I guess we have it
I wrote
recorded.
them down. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think I was higher on Hassett. I think that's looking good
yeah,
now.
Hassett
Although
I
I'm not
see.
sure if it's actually if he should be higher. I saw Hassett like yesterday before this headline. It was like low 30s.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's always hindsight bias, but low 30 is a little bit low. It's a little bit low
I had
considering
orders. Yeah, I was market
nothing
making
happened.
it. I was market making it, so still have no. I've been trading it back and forth, but my current average price just on the shares I'm holding is like 61 or 62, so not the best. But I'm sitting on a lot of profits in this market. It's been great to market make. Back and
Yeah.
Warsh was a guy I'm trading. I was net no on for a while. I know that I saw Domer has a big position on yes, but other than Hassett, he has yes of
Uh,
everyone. But Warsh, I was the two Kevins. I was on no, even though I'm hyping up the yes side for the Kevins. I'm still on no on those. But Hassett, I'll be holding no throughout. I think I gotta gamble on something, right? Sports. I've had enough of sports. uh, will Trump sue Powell by March 31st? Anything on that?
what's the price and what are the rules?
Trump
Like
sue
that he actually gets indicted?
22%. Market just came out, $6,000 of volume. If the
Yes.
administration, including any branch, or the federal government files a lawsuit in his personal or official capacity, lawsuit must be filed in a federal or state court with him as a defendant, and an announcement will not alone qualify.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, like these small time shitcoin markets, I don't really
Yeah.
look at much. I wish of the other guy. I think Comey got a lawsuit, right? I think he was indicted, and the other person, no, they got like two they're going against.
Yeah, it's a fresh market. I mean, it's a week old, but there's no rewards activated on it. 6,000
Yeah,
volume, so it's just not on the radar yet. But man,
yeah,
crazy video yesterday. It was like a gun to his head. He wants to make a stand. He's had
yeah,
enough.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it will like anyway, like the Fed markets they'll stay good. They will be good with Powell as long as Powell is in, and then whether Powell stays in or leaves, they will be good
Yeah.
either way. Should be fun.
All right then. I think we'll call it here. It's been good. I gotta Get out. Powell out has good rewards, says Bliss. I mean, rewards, I got into it last week. Probably should not have done it.
Uh,
I'm going back because it's been a bad couple months, right? So I'm looking back. I'm like, what did I used to make money on? And I tried market making. Good, like $400 or $500 a day. Not bad for. I'm still doing it all manually, but and I got shares that now are back in the money. But getting no on all of these Iran stuff really was like painful. Just
I mean,
painful.
market making, yeah, you gotta know what you're doing. So I don't. That's why I don't market make. I only market make when I don't mind actually being filled.
Yeah.
Then I market make.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um, and then, oh, the one thing from your talk with Profit on Friday was about feeling weird. Remember, I had messaged you. I'm like, betting no is a disgusting bet. I said disgusting in the chat. And I
mm,
didn't mean it morally. I know that you were talking about morally you feel wrong
mm,
betting no. Um, for me, I just felt like it was just whether it be the insider argument or the fact that Trump is hyping it up, but also on the days where he said, "Oh, I'm going to talk with Maduro. Like we're going to have a talk. We're friendly." 2 days later, he
mm.
strikes. No one knew this was going to happen. Same thing with Iran. He's not really saying we have a peace talk on Sunday. Still strikes, right? So all of these events, when it feels really low, it's the calm before the storm. He said, what did he say today? I'm not gonna strike Iran, or we're gonna have talks, or there's news about that.
Yeah, like
That's
nah.
it's gonna
Today it was the
happen.
opposite. Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah, yeah.
happen,
Nah, but today he was the opposite. Like he,
Okay.
he said they called, but we might have to strike them before. So he kind of announced it. So maybe he won't do it. But I agree. It's an inherently like it's a hot potato we're holding.
I
Like
just yeah, exactly. That's why I
yeah.
don't like holding these shares because it just feels like something's gonna happen eventually.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
starting. What is it? The pot is boiling and it's gonna spill at one point, right?
Yeah.
Don't know what the saying is,
Yeah.
but that's why I didn't like it. Now I feel much more calm, maybe because the price is back down, so I'm happy. But it just felt weird. And now with the separation of the price of strike versus Khamenei and regime fall, that they're not as correlated as I thought they should be. I feel better being on the no side of regime and Khamenei, which because now we talked about it. I feel more assured that a strike does not mean Khamenei out. If
Mm,
it's a precision
mm,
targeted operation where they go to Fordo or something, it's better. For everyone. And I know that most of us are still positioned on no here. Anyways, let's call it for today. We'll be back. I don't know if this week or next. And you got Profit on Friday and get some guests in.
yeah.
I might not be here next week, but I know that we'll have fun regardless. All right.
All right.
Thank
That
you
was a good
guys.
one.
Thank you for
And
watching and thanks for commenting. We're gonna keep doing this. It's been fun. Anything else?
all right. That's it.
Thank
See
you
you on
guys.
Friday, and I'll see you next week.
See ya.